Are you bold enough and courageous enough to stand up for your own worth, even when no one else does? And what are you willing to do for it? When you start to understand your worth, and you are kind of claiming it in a sense, you know, you came here. They will see it as you are trying to fight them. Light is my home. Consciously do not understand their own worthiness, right? Now looks like the chaos is even greater. When I allow myself to spread my wings in the darkest of times, I will only realize I am without a doubt, guided through it all. I made sure of that before I came here. When I allow myself to spread my wings, even in the darkest of times, I will see it is all me. I will see it is all me. The darkness an illusion, the light is my home. The darkness an illusion, the light is my home. I'm here by choice. When I allow myself to spread my wings in the darkest of times, I remember what I'm here for. I remember what is mine. I remember what I'm here for. I remember what is mine. And then I remember what I'm here for. And I remember what is mine. What is mine? What is mine? Hey there, welcome to day 29. Well, I love to say it, that's why I say it in every video, and maybe you don't know, so it's good to hear it, right? Well, quite some time ago, I committed myself to a challenge, a 30-day challenge. So I said every day I create and upload one YouTube video. I just see where it leads me. I just see what comes out of me, and I just see how much fun actually I can have with that and learn a lot about myself, right? So this is what I'm doing ever since, and today is day 29. So welcome. Well, that I'm recording this video now is actually a surprise in and of itself, so to say. I mean, I knew I would record it today, but actually I thought I would be doing it, I don't know, a little bit later into the day. But tonight things have shifted in my experience, like drastically, so to say, like really shifted from one moment to the next, you could say, physically out of reality. So that's why everything kind of changed up, and that's why I'm recording it now, which is very surprising, because I actually don't really know yet what the theme is, but I have a glimpse of it. And as I'm talking now, this is better showing up more, right? But it is, I can feel it. And I think I'm kind of being asked to talk about myself a little more, and what has changed and what has happened. And that brings me right to that topic, worthiness, because in the past days I have learned a lot about worthiness. If you haven't watched the other videos yet, I can only recommend that, where we talk about the fact that often on our journey back to remembering our worthiness, it's really a journey in and of itself to really realize and become aware of what it is actually that we're doing, thinking and feeling that is actually coming out of unworthiness that we're not aware of. And even maybe we think that it is out of kindness, out of love, or it is out of worthiness, or it is out of purity, right? And when in fact it is out of unworthiness. And becoming aware of that and become aware of that, releasing that, right, is an important part when it comes to, it's an inevitable part when it comes to remembering your worthiness, because it is probably even the natural side effect of it, maybe. Because as you raise your frequency, right, and as you feel more worthy and maybe are confronted with the same things again, then you realize, oh, I would not do it that way again. That was actually unworthiness. Or that I didn't say anything in that moment actually was because I didn't think that I'm worthy, because there is something still holding me back, trying to tell me that I'm not worthy of speaking my truth, that I'm not worthy of taking in return, that I'm not worthy of just receiving. And I have learned that a lot lately. And you maybe know it when you're following my Instagram, then you know that I am in the middle of a collaboration that I've created for myself. And it started like 4 weeks ago. I think it was 4 weeks ago. Yeah, 4 weeks ago. Pretty exactly 4 weeks ago. And this journey in the past weeks was really a journey to remembering my worthiness on a whole new level. To even realize, oh, I am worth that much. Not because it's already showing outside, but because you're realizing it inside. Because as you go further in your experience, your inner compass is kind of telling you, is kind of showing you. Because as your worthiness has a rise, and my frequency has risen. That's why I even reached out to that collaboration in the first place, because I felt worthy to do that. And I felt good enough to do that, right? And it worked right away, only then, so I can be in that collaboration and I can experience now old habits and behaviors with a whole new frequency that will now show me by my inner guidance system where the resistance, where the gaps are, from that new frequency and to that behavior that is probably from that lower frequency, so to say, from that person that was still not feeling worthy. So it's not like you lay them all down immediately. Maybe it can be that way too, but it's not usual that it is that way when you didn't see it yet, because the beauty about seeing it is so you will never repeat it. And if you don't see it, then and it goes just away like magically, so to say. Not that it's wrong, but that you can see it gives you the opportunity that it will never happen again, and that you are clear on a whole new level about that. And you are very much able to teach it also from a whole different perspective, because you saw it and you've been there on a certain point. You've changed it, you saw it, you let it go. You know what I mean? This gives you a whole new opportunity and perspective to actually that it never happens again, and so you can teach because you have a broader perspective, right? And so I have learned a lot about myself and about worthiness in the past weeks, and I truly had, and I realized that very quickly when that collaboration started, that I really was kind of put into collaboration with a person that is kind of still reflecting that old version of myself. So I have the opportunity to stand up for my own worth, not expecting anyone else to do it for me, to see my worth for me. And that's probably the most important part, to stand up for my worth, no matter what that means. Because often we know we're worth more, but we are afraid that if we stand up for our worth, we will lose everything. We will lose the job, might not have money, we will be on the streets, having no home. So out of fear, we are willing to put up with something that is not doing us justice at all. Out of fear, we are willing to put up with something that is treating us unworthy. Out of fear, we are willing to put up with something that is just not matching the worth we know ourselves to be. And that is a shame, actually, in some sense. I mean, we're all creators, right? We're all playing this game on different levels. I mean, there is actually no need to say that it is a shame, but from a broader perspective of who we truly are, and that we deserve actually so much more than we can even comprehend in this human bodies right now, in this time on Earth. On that perspective, you could say it's kind of a shame. Because we shrink ourselves all the time out of fear. We have a standpoint and we don't share it out of fear. We know our worth. Something in us telling us that is not right, I deserve more, but we don't even dare to think that way any longer because we fear that we lose it all. We fear that if we say something or speak up for our worth, that when reality is not matching that, then that we are losing it all, that we might not be able to feed ourselves. So, you know, those like basic needs, this survival mode is kicking in, trying to keep us where we are and shutting our voice down and what we know in order to keep the play going, at least in a way that we think we know we are safe in some shape or form. But the more we live like that, the more we tell ourselves we're unworthy, and the more unworthy we will actually behave and feel. Because the more every time we know something to be true for us and we know our worth and we're not following that out of fear, the outside is controlling us. They are controlling us. And there is something in us that knows that, and this does not feel good at all. And the more we walk that path, the more depressed we even can get, because that is depressing. It is. And there's something telling you that is not about right that way. You deserve more. But we are scared to believe that, because there is this little voice saying, what if it's not true? What if I'm wrong? You know, what if I'm mixing things up? What if? Are you sure that it's true? You know, that silent voice, and very often not that silence, especially when we are about to take steps, right? It becomes louder and more clear to us that it is in our system, that we receive those thoughts and that we keep them without even knowing that we keep them by placing our attention on them and believing in them, believing in them as if they would be our truth, right? And even worse, as if they would be our only truth, because it feels like that is the way, that is life, the way it is for us. So we place our attention on that and believe in that to the exclusion of everything else, so to say, picking like the worst potential out of infinite, collapsing that into reality for us, not daring to take a look outside and to see and to allow ourselves to see more, to experience more. And So I have made, and if you haven't watched the last video, I can only recommend that. I'm going to link that right here in that moment, day 28 is it? Well, where I talk about me and that I have made a lot of decisions within myself the past days. And even the day 28, so linearly speaking yesterday, in that moment when I was recording that video and the whole day, I felt like this chaos came over me. Like nothing made sense anymore after I made those decisions. And I haven't acted on, I had those decisions that I made within myself that led to like tiny actions, but in the outside, they look tiny, not a big deal, right? I made some decisions and I took some actions on that, but the action might look not that big, but the energy behind that must have been very big because it changed everything. And like this chaos broke out and like it's like everything is kind of not on its place anymore, like everywhere around. And that's how I felt yesterday, almost the whole day. And we talked about the beauty of that chaos, because that chaos is yes, because I made those decisions within myself and I even took action on it right away that was needed to do, that I felt good and in alignment to do. And that brought forth that everything as it is had to kind of being torn apart in a sense, and like floating everywhere around, nothing is on its place and everything is chaotic within and without. But I know that this has to be that way, so everything can now readjust itself and come back into place in a different way that suits more the worthiness that I've discovered for myself, that I feel for myself now. And what I always was talking about in day 27, so I'm going to link that as well now. That is, how did I call that? Why they take advantage of you is that video. And there we were talking about when you don't know your own worth, then they take advantage of you. And this is what was trying to happen here in this collaboration. Because this collaboration started out with a very simple idea, right? And this worked immediately. So we both agreed to that collaboration, and very quickly the other party was really realizing what they can get out of me. Sometimes it's not even consciously, but even on an unconscious level, they are sensing your worth and what you are able to do, and they want to keep you. They want to keep your energy around. And even if they don't do it on purpose, because they're just not aware that they're doing it, energetically, that is what is happening, and that is what is trying to express on the physical, right? So very quickly, but the thing is that person was kind of a reflection of that older version of myself that didn't know that she was that worthy. So it was like a mix of timelines, so to say, which means that gave me the opportunity to see that this is happening right away. And that also brought forth that this person was seeing the worth, that she can gain out of it, because the worth that I'm bringing here. But since she is from that older life, so to say, she is not living that worthiness herself, which means she is not willing to exchange that. And that is the part when they then try to take advantage of you and justify it. You know what I mean? But that it's only because they don't see their own worth. They're not playing in that game, they are not aware of that. And that doesn't mean that they don't realize everything that they do. They do, and she is realizing a lot, but she's not realizing on a level that we are talking about that here and now. So it started to change its character very quickly. And she was asking like more and more and more and more and more, and wanted to keep me the way I was. And so me expecting me to not want more, you know what I mean? But of course I realized that quickly, so I started to kind of adjust, because as she wanted more, I wanted that to be exchanged in a proper way, right? And that's when we first when I first started to realize the resistance. And that's so beautiful, because the resistance within her, because of that. Because when you start to understand your worth, and you are kind of claiming it in a sense, you're asking for it, what you deserve, especially when you give something, especially in a collaboration that should be professional, right? Then you get a direct reflection or a direct answer if the person is playing in that kind of game. Because when they're not, they will try to keep you small. And as your worthiness rises, they will take everything that you kind of connect to your worthiness, they will take it, and then they will kind of try to keep you in a position that is lower. They try to shrink you, and when that is not working, they will kind of try to look down on you. They will try to tell you that you are somewhere in the clouds. They will try to tell you that you are arrogant, or even if they don't use the words, but this is what is energetically happening, because they don't understand that. Because they consciously do not understand their own worthiness, right? And this is what was kind of happening. But we at first kind of adjusted. And I was always faced with fears. If she is not agreeing to that worth, I'm on the street again. This fear I had to face all the time. I mean, I don't have to face that all the time, but that is what my energy was concerned about, my system, right? I'm not saying this that it has to be so. Best case scenario is that you release that, that you know that you're safe in any given moment, right? So, but we got to get there when the body is not there yet, right? And so you think kind of, you're kind of tempted to think twice if you say something, but that is the old way, because that means you give your power away to that person in that moment. She holds the power. When she agrees, then you're safe and you have a home to live. If she's not agreeing to your worth, that you know is your worth, that you know is true for you, if she's not agreeing to that, well, then you on the streets again. You're in the tent again. You're living in your tent again. But I was aware of that this fear was trying to keep me small, and she was reflecting that. So we started to adjust. But as we adjusted, since she is not agreeing with my worth, but was not yet bold enough, if you can say it like that, to actually speak that out loud, but I could feel it in her energy. Well, as my worth was rising and we kind of were adjusting the happening, she kind of agreed, because she wanted my energy to stay, consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter, but something wanted me to not leave. And she pulled me closer and closer to her, so that I was even living above her, in a space above her space, I mean by that. And to keep a long story very short, so we adjusted a little bit, but then on this adjustment, she was suddenly asking for more and for more and for more and for more, and on the other hand, since she doesn't know her own worth, and since she's not really awakened to a lot of things she is doing, she kind of was not focused at all, which showed me how I want to work, because we could not have one meeting without her being absolutely distracted by a million things at the same time, which kind of challenged me and kind of made it hard on myself to kind of really keep up and like bring what I wanted to bring, right? So it really needs to have a certain quality to those meetings, for example, so each parties can give their attention in a way that thing that we want to come out needs the attention to, so we can actually bring it through life, right? And this was just not given. And also, what was also something that I became aware of is that since with me we were playing on a whole different worthiness level than she is used to in every other area of her life, this was also the area she was always kind of putting aside. So I was kind of always the last one that got an answer to something. I was the meeting that was kind of this, she was allowing to be distracted from all over the place, when you can say it like that. When I needed answers from her, it was kind of hold, because she didn't reply because she had different and more important things to do. And a lot of things like that. And the funny thing about that is that everything that we were about to do were actually supposed to uplift her business, which is a direct reflection of that we are really the ones who are keeping ourselves from growing, because all the problems going on were more important. So she was running from A to B to C to T and the one thing that was truly trying to change something from within, she was blocking herself to. And of course she can play that game herself, but I couldn't, because I saw that, and that's not the way I work, that's not the way I prefer it. And it's really not the way that benefits us both. So again, to keep a very long story short, she wanted more, she wanted more, she wanted more, she wanted more. So we adjusted again, and her resistance got bigger. I could feel it, but I don't know why she just could not say it, but she didn't. And I think it's just because she was afraid that I would leave. And that is on an unconscious level, because a lot of parts in her know it. They know what I bring. They know the energy. They know the shift. They feel the change that has happened. They know that I am here makes it better for her, but she couldn't grasp it, right? She cannot explain it because it's happening energetically. She just knows something tells her to just do it, but she could not release the resistance. So I could feel the negative energy coming towards me, kind of rising, so to say, kind of becoming more. I could feel in every conversation she was more dishonest, and not really speaking what she thinks. And I could feel that, because, as an awakened person, you know that, right? You sense energy. You know the lies, you know the gaps. And if you're really fine-tuned into that, you really can tell when someone is lying in the right moment, because you're not fooled by your senses. You know what's true, right? Even before the person opens their mouth, right? So, to keep a long story short, yes, after that adjustment, she wanted again more. She wanted again more, even to that. So, and that's when I really had a conversation with myself, so to say. Because I realized I need to change something, because I was adjusting and that was good. But something had to change, because on that adjustment, she asked for more all the time. And I was really always nicely trying to tell her this is not part of what we agreed upon, right? But then all those other things kind of heightened, kind of the disfocus and the delays, and really it wasn't that fun for me, and the past days especially. So I really had a conversation with myself, because I know it's happening for me. I know something wants me. I want myself, this character, to embrace and express more of my worthiness now. So I was really sitting with myself, and I was meditating and releasing all thoughts, and really kind of opening up to what that might be now. And then there come this moment, and it was very clear. And I was being asked, or I received the impulse to really ask for more money now. And I was first wondering, but it made sense, because it would put her in the immediate position to make a decision. And if she is for me, and if she's growing with that worthiness, she would agree, because I was not really kind of out of the extraordinary with the amount that I was suggesting, really not. And if she's not, then it would be only means she's spiraling out of my life because she cannot keep up with the worthiness that is rising, right? And the beauty about that is that when you step up to your own worthiness, and where before the people told you they love you, and you feel like you had this connection, but this is all a mask, right? When it's all a mask, it will fall down the moment you step up into your worthiness. Because an unworthy person, him or herself, will see that as how do you say it? Defensive. They will see it as you are trying to fight them because they don't understand worthiness, right? They're playing the old game. And this is exactly what happened with her. She was acting out of emotion so absurdly, actually, that I was wondering why she's not even realizing that this was happening. But she was confronted with her own fears, right? She was just confronted with her own stuff. So this has nothing to do with me, but it showed me immediately the illusion that broke away, the mask has now officially fallen. What I was sensing all along was now showing in physical 3D, because instead of kind of walking towards me or kind of acknowledging that worth, she was really nasty. And she was really throwing me out like that. She was cutting everything immediately. She could not handle a person that feels worthy and that is asking for her worth. And I was not even demanding it in that sense. I was really kind of keeping it open to give her just the opportunity to come towards me in case this is too much for her. I was still having that door open to let's connect and communicate. But the simple fact that was standing up for my own worthiness was too much for her. She could not even see that way. So she just reacted. She cut at everything and she tried to make me small, literally. She was saying, I did this, and now I want you to do this. So she was kind of placing that ultimatum on me, kind of how you say it, threatened me with kicking me out so I would be on the streets again, because she know I was in the tent before. And this was really nasty. That was actually amazing to witness. And just because I asked for a tiny little bit money that was not even close to justified in what I'm here doing, actually. So this is really amazing, and that is really, I'm not pointing fingers to her because she's just an unconscious human being. She's a puppet in her own game, right? But it was amazing to witness how it works, and that it's so important that we do not take that personally, and most important of all, that we are bold enough and courageous enough to make that step, even if that would be the outcome. Because if I would say, oh no, I keep my mouth shut and I'm doing it like that, because I'm in fear that I might have to move into my tent again, what does that say to the universe? She holds my power. I have no say in it. It's her or I have nothing. That's not the truth. It is not. And even if I have to go into my tent, I'd rather be worthy in my tent than being treated disrespectful and unworthy in an apartment where I am now. Recording my last video, by the way, before I go. So, and this is such a beauty for me to witness, because it shows you so much how it truly works. If you stand up for your truth and they realize they cannot take advantage of you anymore, they either rise with you or they will try to put you down, and you will see the truth even further on a physical realm if you have felt it already all along. If you haven't even felt it already all along. And this is exactly what was happening. And you know what? I'm at a point I am so proud of myself right now, because this is so much more worth than anything else. I mean, think about it, how delusional it is, because you stand up for your worth and you're aware from where she is coming from. You're aware of her unawareness in a sense. So you're not even asking for the full thing. You even really the amount of money is actually ridiculous, you could say, from another perspective, right? But it was okay. It was not about the money. It was about me saying something and ending it here smoothly, right? And for everybody, in grace and in worth, for everybody, even for her. And that is when the truth she was already expressing energetically came forth. Because she's not feeling worthy to invest in herself, right? And that is why the things that we were doing were being delayed all the time. And she was scared. And she is scared because it required everything we were doing, and she asked for it. But everything we were doing required her to step out of her comfort zone and to leave a little bit of her old aspects of her behind. So this also came to the equation, to that whole unworthiness and worthiness game, and she kind of projected it all onto me. And when her system felt like I'm not just giving any longer, her system realized, well, then there is no need to keep her. And closed right away. And not only that, because I would really, that is the beauty. I mean, not just, okay, no, I can do that, we have to kind of end it there. But that egoic game that has tried to take place to manipulate me, to shift it around, wanted the money back that was giving and wanted me to do even more and more and more, and used fear of kicking me out as the fuel for all of that. And when I didn't buy into that, we had a conversation. We were sitting here right on that table where the camera is placed. She realized she cannot do that. Well, that was it. But I was standing for my own worth. I was standing up for my own worth. And I am so extraordinarily proud of that. So I made some decisions and I told her some things. And I'm not saying I told her some things and this and that. No, I was staying in my center. And I was really ignoring all the guilt she was trying to place on me, all the nasty things she was saying to me, and I was just staying in my center, and I was just telling her what it is that I want before I leave. So I was not, and this is pretty much nothing in that sense, but I agreed to none of what she was throwing at me. I'm not giving her the money back for the things that have already been done. I am not taking that all on me because I'm fearful what she might do. I'm not. I don't have to be fearful. And just because I said, hey, you're asking for a lot lately that has been not agreed upon before. And I put a lot of more energy, so it might be great. So I have one suggestion. I need a little bit more money on that. But I keep the door open for you to say yes or no, or to adjust. And just that, smooth and gentle and really soft, turned it that way. And that was a sign for me that this cycle is closed. Life is forcing kind of this cycle to close because I'm done here. She cannot displace and she cannot rise with the frequency that I am in now. She can just not keep up with it. She cannot bring what I deserve any longer. She just can't. That's okay. But the important thing is now, because that's why I was talking about the video before, that video from day 27 or 28, I'm not sure right now. It's important. Well, wait, I kind of lost the sentence. Give me a moment. When I was talking about the chaos, because it now looks like the chaos is even greater. Because I don't know yet where to go, right? So now I'm challenged into, do I believe there is coming more from me? Or do I have to release more fears? And both is okay. And one does not exclude the other. I can release even more fears now, and know because more is coming for me. But this is kind of the challenge, right? Not doing things out of fear. Being bold enough for you to stand up for your worthiness even when no one else does. And this is actually exactly what is happening to me right now. And that I may be sleeping in a tent is no proof at all that things are not working out. Not at all. And I have to be so knowing and sure about that in my energy for that to even be able to change, to shift. And I know that. And I have to feel worthy enough to know I'd rather be worthy in a tent than unworthy and being treated disrespectful in an apartment, no matter how big it is. It doesn't matter. Because what you're saying to the universe, I'm not worth it. I'd rather shut my mouth, my creation, my creativity, myself, I'm not worth it. And that's not true. And I'm telling you all of this so you can see that it is possible to act like that. And you don't have to be afraid. I want you to feel inspired by that. That you can see when she can do it, then I can do it. And it doesn't have to mean for you that you have to be in a tent. But I want you to see how really far this can go, in a sense that trust me, when you feel worthy like that, it will be okay. Because you feel just too worthy. This not even has to do anything with fear, right? It just has to do with your worthiness. Are you bold enough and courageous enough to stand up for your own worth, even when no one else does? And what are you willing to do for it? And are you allowing life and trusting in life and in your creation and into the unknown to kind of shift that for you when you only hold the frequency? And that is where I am at now. And I was before, and I made it before, and so many miracles happened. Why should that be different now? I cannot shrink myself, because then I would only delay what wants to come in anyways. So now I'm at a point where I have to find a way to keep that frequency up, be bold enough to work with my body and the belief system that might now needs to be released maybe. And it's okay when fears come up. It's absolutely understandable. You know what I mean? But this does not determine your worth. And what happens outside does not determine your worth now. I have to now keep that energy up, keep creating, and keep being focused and place my attention on the things that I truly love and that I truly love to do, because everything inside me, and this was especially when the mental chatter I was talking yesterday about is screaming now, I don't have the time to create now, right? I have to figure out where to go, where to sleep, and that is survival mode telling you lies. This is the moment more than ever where you need to keep your creations up. Because this is a lie. Work first and then the hobbies come. You know what I mean? This is the lie that keeps you always in the trap. And I know that. So I know, to me, it's so important right now that I'm not fooling myself into survival mode, because now I might be in a tent and now I have to this and that. And I need to stay in that creation mode. I need to find a way to stay in that creation mode now more than ever before, so things can keep shifting and adjusting out in 3D to my benefit, to the way it's supposed to be, to the way it is matching to my internal state of being now. Or I could collapse now. And both would be really okay and understandable. But when everything collapses now, there would need to come a moment where I realize that, right? So why not realize it immediately and allowing fear to arise, but stay as focused as I can, take the space and time my body needs, but do not fall for the voices as if they were true, telling me I'm not worth it, I can't create now, everything is not working out, and all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right? So if you are in a similar position, I mean, you don't have to even live in a tent, but maybe you are in a point where everything is chaotic and where you are being asked the same thing, then I want to encourage you to keep going. But don't just look away to how your body feels. Take your body with you. Do the work that needs to be done in order to release, in order to tell your body it's all right. You have to take your body with you. You have to make your body believe it too. You cannot skip that. This causes only resistance, and this will come back to you. So I just want you to hear this. I want you to hear that you are not alone. If you are in a similar position, or even really have a home situation that is kind of being fragile, or whatever it is, know that it's important that you keep your passion up, that you keep creating what you love, and that you keep on trusting into the unknown, and that you are not alone. This is the new way of being and the new way of handling things, and we just gotta do it that way now. We cannot act out of fear any longer. We just can't. And right here and right now, I want to tell you that you are not alone. And you can, and if you want to, you can share everything in the comments if you want to. You can reach out, you can connect, you can send me a private message if you want to. I just want you to know that you are not alone, and that it is possible, and that this chaos is only life trying to adjust it for you. You just have to keep that frequency up, so the energy can do its work without you stopping it or lowering it down. Trust me, I know how it feels. But this is the time in life on this planet where we have to overcome those fears. We cannot run back into this old overpowering game and make ourselves small and shrink ourselves out of fear again. We have to step up. We have to step out. We have to allow our worthiness to arise, no matter how it looks outside. We cannot make outside circumstances an excuse for not standing in our worthiness. We just can't. That's because we will never change it that way. We will always stay trapped in a cage, and people will try to take advantage of us and overpower us. This game will only continue that way. But when we step out, knowing they cannot scare us, they just can't, They cannot scare us. Then you take your power back. That is boldness. And then you do what you gotta do in grace, because you know that's how you do it. That's how you change. Because you just know, even if it does not look like that yet, you know it, because you feel it, because you know how it works, because you know how you create, because you know your energy. You're an energy being. You know your consciousness. You know you are setting energy in motion, because you know now. So they can't fool you any longer. So don't let anyone try to fool you into unworthiness, because they feel unworthy. Because they decide to play that old game a little longer, and they can. It's all right. Don't use your energy to blame them, because it's far too valuable for that, because it's wasted. They're choosing their game, you choosing yours, and this was just like a jumping board for you to even quicker raise your frequency and realize your own worthiness. Please let me know if that resonates with you. Share it in the comments with me. Let's connect. Everyone that resonates with that, let's connect. So this field of worthiness can become brighter and brighter and brighter, and that the world can have the opportunity that this is now what we are radiating, right? Not that overpowering, that old control and overpowering game. So as much as that old game and system is connecting everywhere, so it keeps up, we have to do the same. We have to do the same. So everyone that is feeling that and is saying yes to that and is saying yes to worthiness, let's connect, because we have to do the same in order for that worthiness to rise within us and then ultimately collectively. No, we cannot let the darkness fool us. Can we? And with that, I want to sing one more time Angelic Wings, which was the song from the beginning. I just feel it so much because it's so important now for me to remember, and I want to share that with you right away, to be authentic and honest to you, So you have the opportunity to spread your wings as well in darkest times. Knowing that the darkness can't do us any harm. It really can't. I mean, we are the darkness and the light, right? Somehow we're both. The illusion is that we have to be fearful of that. We don't. Light does not have to be fearful of the darkness. So feel into that frequency and feel your truth in it. When I allow myself to spread my wings in the darkest of times, I will only realize I am without a doubt guided through it all. I made sure of that before I came here. When I allow myself to spread my wings, even in the darkest of times, I will see it is all me. I will see it is all me. The darkness and illusion, the light is my home. The darkness and illusion, the light is my home. I'm here by choice. When I allow myself to spread my wings, even in the darkest of times, I remember what I'm here for. I remember what is mine. I remember what I'm here for. I remember what is mine. Then I remember what I'm here for. And I remember what is mine. Then I remember what is mine. What is mine. You are worthy. You are. Of your own sound, of your own truth, of your own voice, of the life that you see, that you imagine, of yourself. You truly are. So, to sum it all up, if you haven't done so already, feel free to follow my social media. I put everything in the description link down below. And if it resonates with you, you have the opportunity to support my journey. The link for that is in the description box down below as well. So I want to invite you to contribute to this field of worthiness. And actually, no matter how that looks, if that video resonates with you, you can give me a thumbs up, you can like, you can subscribe, you can follow on social media like Instagram, like TikTok, you can comment, or you can donate even money if you feel called to. You will find everything in the description box down below, whatever it is that you're choosing. And if you're choosing to support, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And with that, worthy soul, I see you, linearly speaking, tomorrow for day 30. the last day of this challenge. I am so excited. I have no idea where I'm going to be yet, but I will keep you updated. And I'm excited and curious about what the topic will be. And I keep my heart open, even through fears, and allow myself to release that. And I invite you to do the same. To not allow fear and overpowering to question your worth. We gotta stand up for our own worth now. So let's connect. Let's do it together. I love you, worthy soul. Have a beautiful time.